What made you decide to use Dragonline on this particular field?
Because we was having so much runoff on this here.
So runoff was your factor
It
here.
was sealing up the soil. You can see it's not, it's pretty good soil, but it was sealing up. And the only real spots is like up there on the hilltop, you get kind of, more of a fine sand. It's not just real sandy, but I mean, it's sandy loam.
What was the field like without Dragonline?
If you did 200 bushel on this, you did really good.
200?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now you can raise 230, 240.
So good bushel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And soybeans wasn't so bad. Soybeans, we drill the soybeans and they hold the water. It don't seem like it runs off so much on soybeans.
Really?
Yeah. And that's one thing I like about soybeans, because it takes the water in, so you got a profile the next year.
Right.
Where you got all this runoff, you got profile in places and no profile in other places that run off.
Do you still have wheel track issues?
You walk out here and I mean, you can't hardly believe be the outside track. So you have the ditch in the ground. I didn't even see that track, did you?
You miss it?
I think we did.
Oh, because it's got the walkers on it?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, we don't have any problem with track on.
There's not even any difference. Other than your draw, that's how it would be. You're having less wear and tear on your systems without having such deep wheel tracks?
Yeah, definitely.
What would you say on average a year, how much less you spend time and money on a pivot, not being out here?
Probably 25 hours.
How about
25 hours.
As far as
we used to have a system getting stuck all the time, And,
yeah. Well,
I mean, every year you had one or two times it was getting stuck. You had to go out and really dig to bury or unbury it. I really feel like what it costs us to put it on, it's paying for itself.
Yeah,
and
it's definitely proven.
It's improving, and we don't have the wheel tracks we used to have. Outside of that, man, I mean, it's
definitely saving time.
Yes,
and money.
saving time,
Yep.
Saving time field tracks. Like I say, after a while, your tracks start just forming a draw, because all you're doing, the dirt's all washed down to the bottom.
Yep,
you need to go down to the bottom and pick it back up, put it back up there on the hill.
It takes a lot of time and work.
Well, when you got a crop in there, you got all kinds of trash you're throwing in there with it.
Did Dragonline help you use less water?
Probably, I'd say about a third less than what we did on our other ones. Is compatible, putting 800 gallons a minute and all that, and on corn.
Would you say that you can visibly see the difference?
Oh yeah.
As far as from this,
Definitely,
something comparable?
and so much better. Uniform water all the way to the edge of the circle.
You said yield. You said about 20, 30 bushel an acre better?
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
Dragonline? Was that
20 plus.
20 plus?
Yeah.
Is that overall something comparable to this, would you say, or just on this particular field?
Well, this particular field.
Okay.
Because this field was always the most troublesome to try to get the water. We put a lot of gallons.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're making a pass, you're trying to make an 1.25 inch pass when you're running a pass. You got down to where you was running 3/4 inch pass, you still had it running off. You wasn't getting no deep soak, and you wasn't catching up. And even in there where it was watered, and put rubber boots on and following it the first year, following it through those hillsides and down through the bottom and seeing, and it just wasn't no real runoff unless you had two drop lines running down the road. Then you had a little runoff.
Right. Wow. It's crazy that it just holds it so much better.
Yeah, it was doing a good job, because it was stringing that out. That water was just gradually going in, strung out, and the further it come out here, the longer the drip hoses were for more emitters and stuff.
Yep.
And it had enough time that the water could go in before it run off.
You feel like you could shut off sooner with Dragonline, keeping the profile the way it is?
Yeah.
How much sooner would you say on average?
So probably a week and a half, 2 weeks, at least 1 or 2 waterings. I really feel like what it costs us to put it on, it's paying for itself.
Yeah, it's
and
definitely proven.
It's improving, and we don't have the wheel tracks we used to have and stuff like that.